Hey, how you all doing? Welcome to this Motion 5 tutorial. So Motion 5, Apple have just released updates for Motion 5 and it's given us lots and lots of things, but one of the most exciting things that it's given us is sort of 3D support or 3D text and 3D we already had 3D environments. So people who used to think that Apple was a 3D editor, it wasn't. It was 2D images in a 3D environment, and that's all it was. But now we've got more support, we've got 3D text, and I'm going to take you through not all of the changes but the 3D text today, and we'll try and end up with some cool little project that will be of some use to you somewhere. You could employ it somewhere in one of your projects, in an intro or whatever. So I'm going to go to Motion 5, 30 frames per second, and then 12 seconds in duration, and I'm going to click open. Okay, once we're over in Motion, as always, I'm going to go to my 100%, my preview pane, and click it to fit. So this just fits the window to my workspace in use. Now, like I said, Apple have introduced quite a few things from behaviors, filters, generators. They've introduced a lot of 3D stuff that you could do, but what I want to talk to you about and explain to you today is how simple 3D text is. And like I said, we'll try and do something what somebody else wouldn't do that you can employ or incorporate into a project or an intro somewhere. So let's just make some 3D text. So go to this text tool here, and I'm going to go, you'll see we've got text, and now we've got 3D text. Really cool. So I'm going to select 3D text, drag out an area on my screen, and just type 3D text. Now, I'm not going to do anything special. You're going to see that this is very, very simple. I've got this 3D text right here. I'm going to go to my inspector, and anybody that's sort of okay with Motion already will see that the properties, behaviors, filters, and the text are all still there. We've got the format, which is where we can change our font size alignments and all that good stuff. We've got layout, which is where we affect our layout, but we've also got this appearance tab, and within the appearance tab now we've got all our controls to support our 3D text. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to format, and I'm going to drag up the size of my 3D text, and then I'm going to go to appearance. So this is really 3D text. It doesn't just give the image that it's 3D. It is 3D text, and you can work with it in a 3D space, and I'll show you how. So we're going to go just drag our group and then text, and just drag out group and then just drag our text to the center, like so, center of the screen. Go back to and select my 3D text. Now on this tab, obviously at the top we could select our appearance, could save our attributes, and we can mess with our styles and pick our, we could pick all different types of 3D styles, which are quite cool as well. But I'm just going to leave it on basic. I'm just going to leave it very simple. And first and foremost, we can change the depth of the 3D. We can change where the depth sits within the screen. Is it centered? Is it forward? Or is when we increase our depth, is the text sitting backwards? But we're just going to leave it centered as we moved it to the center earlier on. The weight of our text. Now with the weight, if you think right away, keyframes, the simple things that you could do, the weight just makes your text a little bit bulkier. So there's nice things that you could do with this. I could click this, make sure my timeline's at the start, click this little plus button, go up to just a couple of seconds, and then in my timeline, drag the weight up nice like so, and then another split second or so, drag it back down to where it was, and then this will sort of give, if I move these keyframes, this will sort of give a growing effect of our text. So right away you'll see that there's really, really crude but really, really simple things that you could employ just using these tools really, really simply as well. Our front edge, so this is where our edges come into play on our 3D text. At the top we've got square, bevel, round, concave, groove, so on and so forth all the way down, and it will even give you a little image of what the 3D text will look like should you select one. So I'm just going to select this groove here, and we've got this nice groove on our 3D text. The front edge, so you can then change what that groove actually looks like. Does it grow, or what the animation on how you've just what you've just done to your text, how that changed as well. And you think keyframes, you could change what you're doing with this keyframe as well. So I'm not doing nothing special, you know, I'm just leaving it as it is pretty much. And then we've got the back edge of the text, because like I said, we can mess with it in 3D space, so we could rotate all the way around this text. And the back edge, we've just got it on the same as the front, or you could have a separate sort of beveled edge if you like. Inside corners, so when I say inside corners, if you look around this area right here, let's say the M part of the 3. So at the moment we've got it on straight, which is nice and sharp. We could have a rounded, which just rounds that bevel off slightly, or we could have the mitre, which squares that bevel off, as opposed to the rounded, so you see the difference. And then back to the straight. So I want mine nice and sharp like so. Now we've got lighting. So the text itself has to be in a lit environment, otherwise you wouldn't see the 3D effect as such, dependent on where the light was. So at the moment we've just got our light environment selected, so it gives a false light, if you like, a inherited light from nothing. And then our lighting style, we could do lots of things with our lighting style. So if we have our light below, it gives the effect that within our 3D environment, the light is indeed coming from below the text around this area down here. So you could see that with this here. Now if I click this self shadows, what that does is, I just turn it off again, just watch the text over here. All it does, it inherits shadows from the text that's next to it. So it inherits its own shadows in conjunction with the light environment that we've got selected, or the lighting style. So if I chose above, the light would seem as though it's reflecting from above. So medium, and then medium left, so the light's like left, and then standard. But I'm just going to put ours for now. I'm just going to put ours below, our light below. We can open the self shadows up here, change the opacity and the softness of the lights, and as with the environment. Now in the environment we have different types of environment, so we could drop this drop down box down, and we could have a colourful environment, which will give our text a little bit of colour, even though we've got no colour, real colour selected. We could have a light box, so as though it's in a light box. We could have parking lots, but all these lights, I'm just going to keep ours on field, all these lights will work in conjunction with the lighting style that we've got selected right here. Okay, so if you select an environment that is parking lot, generally if you're in a parking lot or a rooftop, the light would be above. But if you've got your lighting style from below, you're not going to get that true lighting style that you've asked Motion 5 to supply for you. Right, so just bear that in mind. You will have to just work with your lights and your light environment there. Okay, onto our materials. Very straightforward. We can go various materials, and we just click this little arrow downwards, and let's have a look at our miscellaneous. I quite like this motion sort of material. I think that's quite nice. Again, you can just scroll through the materials and you can see another paint one is the car paint, which is quite nice, quite a nice material. And if we changed our lighting to be standard lighting, and our environment to be a softbox environment, then you'll see some nice shadows coming off the edge of our 3D text. Okay, likewise with rooftop, we made the light from above. You'll see some nice lights like so. So I've got my lighting back on standard, and I'm going back to my my paint, and what I'm going to choose is miscellaneous, and then I'm going to choose this carbon fiber. So I'm going to go paint, miscellaneous, carbon fiber. So this is our carbon fiber effect, and it is quite nice. Right, our paint, we've got our reflective, watercolor, textured or smooth paint, so you can choose the paint finishes. Again with the finish, custom specular, textured, brushed enamel. and polished, and then the substance, just whatever substance, and it will all give a different effect. We can also select our glows, so it just gives our edges a glow, and also our drop shadows. So I've just turned the glow off, left the drop shadow as it is, and now I'm back to this 3D text in the standard lighting with carbon, miscellaneous carbon fiber effect text. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click this 3D text and I'm going to duplicate it. So now I've got a 3D text copy above. I'm going to go to over here, my appearance, front edge, and I'm going to change it to bevel ring. Okay, so you will notice we've got this bulky edge now appear around our 3D text. If I turn it on and off, you will see we've got this bulky edge around our 3D text. I'm going to go to my materials, open up my metal materials, and go to my copper material. Not copper, sorry, chrome material. So metal, and then we're going to go to our chrome material. So now we've got this 3D text with this chrome sort of bulky outer that looks really, really cool and really, really sharp. And we could change the depth of the chrome to make it even nicer, like so. But we just want the depth just showing through. So whatever this depth is, it's on 74. We want the 3D text copy, so the chrome one above, so we've gone 75. I'm then going to select my group so I can move this text as a group. Okay, nice. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a camera, and it will ask me if I want to keep us 2D or I want to switch to 3D. I want to switch to 3D. Now with my camera selected at the top, so I have my pan tools right here. I'm just going to use my heads-up display right here so I can mess about with my camera. I didn't mean to touch the angle of view. Okay, so now all I'm going to change is our camera sort of view, and that's how we're going to keyframe it, and that's how we're going to make a really cool effect. So I'm going to go in really, really close to this text, and you can go in really close to this text. It's not a problem. And I'm going to drag my camera along like so, till we get the start of this 3D text. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to keyframe this camera. And then I'm going to move along in my timeline up to around 4.5 seconds. I'm going to drag this text along. And I'm sort of doing it freehand using these tools here. And you notice I'm just waving up and down a little bit also. And go all the way along to our 3D text. Like so. And then once we get to 4 seconds, I'm going to move the timeline, or to the end of the text, I'm going to move the timeline up to just below 8 seconds. And I'm going to move it back. Like so, to the center. Or to around the center of the text. And then I'm going to scale out the way. So I'm zooming back out. Like so. Like so. And then from this keyframe here, I'm going to select this group. And all I'm going to do is rotate the text like so. All the way around. Like so. So now, turn this record off. Let's play through that timeline. The text will rotate. Could even drag that up a little bit. Drag this up a little bit, this keyframe right here. So we've got a nice 3D text rotation. And you could have lots of more things to your environment to make really cool sort of effects and projects. But I'm sure you'll agree that the addition of the 3D text to Motion 5 is really cool. It's also got support in FCPX as well, so we might just do a few little things to this in FCPX, and you'll see the tweaks at the end of this video. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope this has helped you out, and I'll be back indeed with more updates from Motion or Apple within Motion 5, and especially what you can do with 3D stuff, because I know that that's what everybody's been waiting for. Thanks a lot for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments below.